Shawnee. So today I'm going to be doing a quick, hopefully quick, story time video. I actually thought about this video when I was filming my last video, if you guys watched that, which is the makeup brands I will not purchase from anymore. I was talking about a brand in that video, and then it dawned on me that a similar thing has happened to me with another brand, and this happened to me and my company and my brand personally, and I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys. It's a little bit of the nitty-gritty that goes on in the back end of the makeup world, and it's not super pretty. Not everything about the makeup world, as we know. It makes you look pretty, but it's not always pretty in the background. As you guys might know, I do own my own makeup brand. It's called Rani Cosmetics, for those of you guys that are not familiar. It is a very indie brand. I own it and I run it, and it is a lot of work. You see all these influencers just popping out with brands all over the place, and honestly, coming out with a good brand with good products made in a good lab with high quality packaging and high quality ingredients, I mean, it's hard. It's very expensive. It's a very long process, and it's not easy to do. But the brand I am going to be chatting about today, I'm not gonna actually name the brand. I kind of went back and forth with this, whether or not I should name the brand or not name the brand, but to be 100% honest with you guys, I really don't want to start any drama with anybody, any brand. This video isn't to make you guys go hate on this brand or go send over any negative comments or anything like that. I just want to stay drama free. With that being said, I still want to make you guys aware of some of the issues that you have, even just as a small brand owner on the back end. The brand we're going to be talking about today, like I said, I'm not going to name it, but I'll give you guys as many details about the brand without directly saying the brand, and you might be able to guess it. I would say this was one of the first big social media brands. This is a brand that if you went outside of the YouTube beauty bubble, nobody would know this brand. You know, it's not like you're gonna go to your mom or your grandma and be like, oh, have you bought a lipstick from so-and-so? Like, no, they don't know this brand. I had actually purchased from this brand a couple of times. It was never my favorite brand, and I'm not even 100% sure if I've ever talked about the brand on my channel. Actually, I did. I did talk about this brand on my channel. Back in the day, this was many, many years ago, I did actually review some of their products. Now, this is also one of those interesting social media brands where while the influencer behind the brand isn't really the face of the brand, you know, it's not like Jeffree Star Cosmetics or Kat Von D. Like, it's not like that where you know the person very well. But if you know the brand or know of the brand, you probably know the person. I'd also say that the hype of this brand has died down in the past probably like 4 or 5 years. I really hadn't heard a lot of people talking about the brand very much. Anyways, so moving into the story, I released my Rani Cosmetics lipsticks. I came out with 2 formulas of lipstick, if you guys don't know. We've got the Sparked Dazzling lipstick and the Sparked Dazzling liquid lipstick. And of course the differences are one is a traditional lipstick and one's a liquid. If I have my dates right, I think the Sparked Dazzling lipsticks launched in April of 2017, and the Sparked Dazzling liquid lipsticks launched in June of 2017, maybe July of 2017, but they were a couple months apart. When I launched the original lipsticks, it was just one of the coolest days of my entire life. It was such a rush to launch those lipsticks, and I had made my like video about it, you know, like a preview video beforehand, so you guys knew the date and time to run and grab them. And it was so cool to like put the lipsticks live on the website and then have just orders coming in. It was the coolest feeling. You guys have no idea. Now, mind you, I package all the Rani Cosmetics orders myself. I sometimes do pull in people like my friends or family to help me package when I need them, because sometimes it does get very, very time consuming to package orders, but especially in that initial phase, I was packaging everything myself. So I was seeing everybody that was purchasing, like I was seeing your guys' names and everything come through. And it was so cool. I mean, if you've ordered from Rani Cosmetics, you know, I write you guys a personal little note on the invoice. Everybody gets a little note from me because I just want it to feel genuine. You know, this is a genuine connection we're having. You're purchasing from me and from my brand and not from some big corporation or anything like that. Like, this is a very personal thing between me and you. So I always write everybody a little note. I want them to feel special. So as I was fulfilling orders from my initial lipstick launch, I saw this person place an order. And I looked at the name, and then when you fill out your order form on the website, there's a place to put your name, and then it says company, which is like an optional step, and then like your address and your city, state, zip code, all that kind of stuff. So this person actually put their name, which they're the owner of this company, and then the company name, and then, you know, their shipping address and stuff. And I recognized it immediately because I knew the company, and I also knew, you know, the full name of the owner. And she ordered the full lipstick bundle, like all 6 of our colors. And my initial reaction was, how freaking cool is it that someone who owns a much bigger brand, but in the same space, you know, neither of our brands are huge, neither of our brands are in, you know, like Sephora or Ulta or like big places. They're very much just like a small social media brand. I thought that was really cool. Once again, this other brand is much bigger than me. They're much more well known than me. But that added to the excitement because I was like, oh my goodness, this person who owns a brand is supporting me as a small brand owner. That's incredibly flattering. I think that's incredibly flattering for a brand owner to support another brand owner. I think that's great. Me being naive, I thought that was great. Looking back, I mean, I've never once conversed with this owner. I've never once talked to the actual brand or the people behind the brand. I wrote like a special message on her order, you know, saying thank you so, so much for supporting my brand as a fellow brand owner. It honestly, like, it makes me feel so good that we can just support each other in this way. So thank you. And, I mailed her package off and everything seemed fine. Like I said, a couple months later, I launched my liquid lipsticks. And once again, during the launch, guess who placed an order for the bundle? Same brand owner, same thing, full legal name, company, wrote the company in as well, and then, you know, shipping address. And once again, I wrote a really sweet message being like, thank you again for supporting. I really hope you enjoyed the lipsticks in your last order. I'm so glad to see that you're supporting me in my next formula. I hope you enjoy the liquid lipsticks. Thank you for being just a supportive, you know, like women-owned businesses, let's support each other, you know? Mailed out her liquid lipstick package. Once again, didn't think anything more of it than I was just flattered. And then came the storm. About a month or 2 later, so I think this was maybe, I wish I had exact dates, but I want to say it was probably about 6 months after I launched my lipsticks. There was a new launch from this brand, and there were some lipsticks that looked shockingly familiar. They were basically replicas of my formula. Even more than the formula. I mean, my formula is awesome, don't get me wrong. We work so hard on perfecting that, and it is a unique formula just for Rani. But even more than that, the colors. If you guys, once again, are familiar with my line, we have 6 different colors in the lipsticks and in the liquid lipsticks, and perfecting those colors in that finish, they have like this glittering, shimmering finish to them. That's why they're called the Sparked Dazzling lipsticks and Sparked Dazzling liquid lipsticks. You guys get it. But getting that formula perfect with the perfect amount of shimmer and the right colored shimmer in the colors, it was so hard. I feel like I can do another story time just bouncing off of this video, just talking about actually making my lipsticks. I kind of feel like I want to do that because now that we're a couple years removed from the process, I don't really want to forget it. I feel like, you know, 10 years down the line, I don't want to forget the memory of making my first lipstick formula, if you get that. So I might go ahead and make a video like that at some point. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. But it really wasn't easy. Me and my project manager and the few chemists I was working with to get these colors and this formula absolutely perfect. I believe my project manager told me that it was the longest project start to finish that the lab had ever experienced in a long time, because I was so picky. I was so finicky with the exact colors and the exact formula, and it needed to have the right amount of shimmer to show up, but not too much that the lipsticks were gritty. But I still wanted the lipsticks to be moisturizing and the liquid lipsticks to be comfortable, but still long wearing. But all of them needed to show that shimmer. They needed to be layered on top of each other. It was a whole process, and it's really not easy. And again, as a small business, I really wanted to create something innovative. The worst feeling in the world is when you put so much time and so much effort and so much of your heart and soul, and honestly, I mean, I cried over those lipsticks because there were days where it felt like we were just never gonna get there. There were days, I mean, some of those colors, oh my god, Lunar Eclipse, the purple that we have, it's probably my favorite because it was the hardest one. It was the hardest one to perfect. But when we finally did it, it was perfect. And it took me over a year to perfect it. And after a year, an entire freaking year of trying to just get that color and that formula absolutely perfect, this other brand, again, I guess a competing brand in my same space, a brand that's much bigger and more established than Rani, came in and stole my colors. They came out with a lipstick that looked exactly like Eclipse. They came out with a lipstick that looked exactly like Bindi, which is our red. If I'm not mistaken, I think they had dupes for Latte, which is our brown, and Tattoo, which is our nude, and possibly even Lussie, which is our orange. That one I'm not sure on. I remember seeing on their Instagram when they were teasing their new line, and they popped up a picture of Eclipse, not Rani Cosmetics Eclipse, but this brand, replica Eclipse, named something else, but it was so blatantly a copy. I mean, still at this point, I mean, Rani Cosmetics isn't big enough to necessarily have like the fans or the cult that is out looking for other companies that are replicating us, if that makes sense. It's also such a small brand that I never thought it would be an issue of people trying to replicate us or trying to knock us off. I just felt taken advantage of in that moment, especially because that brand owner knows that I knew who she was. I wrote her a note saying that, you know, I've loved products from her brand and I appreciate that we, you know, women-owned businesses, brand owners can stick together and support each other, and thank you so much for supporting my little brand. I wrote that in my note. So she knew that I knew who she was. And then the fact that just a few months later, all of a sudden, you've got my lipsticks in their packaging, it was the worst feeling. It was such a terrible feeling. And I didn't want to call them out on it at the time. And I still, like I said, don't want to call them out by name now because I don't want to start any drama. At the time, Rani had just started. The last thing I wanted when we just launched our brand was to have some brand controversy, even if it wasn't our fault, even if it was blatantly clear. I mean, the timeline shows that we launched our lipsticks long before this brand launched theirs, and the colors are literally identical. And that brand owner did purchase my lipsticks, so I know that she had the original, you know, the one that Rani Cosmetics came out with. She had that one to take to the lab to replicate. that's what she did. That's how it works in the makeup industry, is you take in what they call a benchmark sample. You take that into the lab. They replicate the formula or the color or whatever about that sample you like, and then you can tweak it from there. And that is what I did with my lipsticks as well. However, the amount of tweaks and the amount of changes and the colors are totally unique. Those I just completely came up with on my own. I feel like I want to make a video talking to you guys about the process of making my lipsticks, because literally the benchmark sample of lipstick that I took into the lab, now that I think about it, I'm like, that's nothing like what we have now. It's crazy how much like tweaks here and there and here and there, and as you go throughout the process, at the end you have a completely different item. But that is if you choose to make tweaks. You can also go into the lab and have them identically replicate it and identically rip it off. Most legitimate labs won't do that and won't allow you to come in with an item and just straight replicate. But you know, just depends on the lab. It just depends on the lab that you have. You can go to a non-reputable lab too, and they will happily replicate whatever gets them money. After the lipsticks launched, to no one's surprise, a few months later, there were liquid lipsticks. I don't think the liquid lipsticks were quite as identical. The formula was identical, which sucked because my liquid lipstick formula took forever. The lipstick formula wasn't as much of a pain as the liquid lipstick formula, because there's a perfect combination you have to get with those liquid lipsticks. I mean, we all know, we've tried the overly drying, overly matte liquid lipsticks, and then we've tried the liquid lipsticks that are really moisturizing but just don't have the longevity on them. And I wanted to get that perfect sweet spot, but then when you add in that shimmer, it adds a whole other element. So, that formula took forever. And yeah, this company, just took my formula. The worst part is that in makeup manufacturing and making formulas, I don't think it's really possible to patent a formula. You might be able to patent certain ingredients if you use like very specialized ingredients. Actual makeup formulas, it's basically like a recipe. You know, it's like Cheesecake Factory can't patent the way they make their cheesecakes because it's just a bunch of ingredients. It's a bunch of basic ingredients. You're not going to patent, you know, milk and cream and sugar and chocolate and throw that all into a pot. Like, you can't patent that. And it's the same way with makeup formulas, you know, because so many different ingredients go into my lipsticks and my liquid lipsticks. I can't patent that formula. So technically, any brand can replicate it. I would say it's not ethical to do. It's legally, it's okay to do. Ethically and morally, I would say that's a no. It's a no from me, dog. It's a no. And it was so bold of her to do it, knowing that I knew she had my lipsticks and my liquid lipsticks. I mean, I would notice that. So freaking bold. But anyways, that's that on that. Like I said, there's nothing that I can do legally about this. There's nothing I would honestly want to do legally about this. Ultimately, I know that my supporters and my followers and even just people that stumble across Rani Cosmetics on Google, they will see the value in my brand and my company and my formulas and my uniqueness. I don't need to start a whole beef and a whole drama thing with another brand to get that attention, but it does suck. You know, it sucks when a bigger brand steals from a smaller brand. I will be sure to put a link to Rani Cosmetics down below in case you guys want to check out the website or you guys are curious about the formulas I was talking about. You guys can go see more information down there. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time and it was fun hearing a little bit of the background deceit that goes on within the makeup industry. If you guys want any other story times, if there are any other topics about the back end of the beauty industry that you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comments below. At this point, I feel like that might be one of the more unique topics that I have some insight to offer to you guys, because I know not everybody starts a makeup company and goes through the whole process. So so maybe it's something you guys want to hear more about. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in my next video very soon. I'll see you then. Bye!